What's going on, guys? Back at it again with another credit card unboxing here on the channel. This one in particular is on the military star card. As per usual, I have already opened it because I had to block off some sensitive information for myself, not trying to get my identity stolen, of course. But this card in particular is a little bit different than some of the other cards that I've unboxed here on the channel, mainly because this card requires you to be directly affiliated to the military, whether it's you being the service member itself or a spouse directly attached to the service member. So because of that, this is a card that the vast majority of people will not be able to get. However, if you're a veteran, it might be something that you might want to consider. We'll get into some of the intricate things about this card here in a second. It's not a review or anything like that. This is just an unboxing, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about this card in the process. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into this. Alright, so first things first, there's literally nothing in here besides this one envelope, right? I have this, as you can see right here, I've already had the my credit line at $5,000. And here is your military star card. Earn 2% rewards on every purchase. Of course, I blocked it off because it has my numbers. And right here, as you can see, this is the Army issued version of this card, mainly because I was an Army, soldier. I was in the Army for about 5.5 years, and then I got out for, I guess we could just say combat-related injuries. But other than that, because of that, I'm actually technically retired out of the military. I'm still able to obtain this card. And full disclosure, I actually used to have this card many years ago. As a matter of fact, this was my first credit card that I have ever opened, period. Before my USAA Preferred Cash Rewards card, before anything, before I started my actual journey, this was the first card I've ever released or got. And that's actually pretty amazing. For nostalgic reasons and certain benefits, I decided to get this again. We'll get into that in a second. As far as benefits, they are all listed basically right here on the bottom. We'll go through it on the in a second, but that's basically what's inside. To get this removed, obviously, this is the military star card, of course. It looks absolutely fantastic if you ask me. As you can see, the seal of the United States Army. I think it looks fantastic. The back, nothing spectacular, just the contact information plus the little military star logo right there. I did block off my my numbers in the back, of course, but that's the card itself. Let's go ahead and go over to the website and see what this card has to offer us. All right, so this website, the military star website, myecp.com, is the website where you can actually apply for this credit card. You can also do it from any exchange, whether it's from a Shop My Exchange from AFES or the Naval Exchange or CGX or the Army and Air Force exchanges, which is of course is where I would be considered in my for me personally. So this card earns you unlimited 2% rewards. This is actually pretty cool. However, the redemption process is actually very limited. By limited, I mean there's really only one way that you can actually redeem these rewards. Once you get up to 2,000 points accumulated, which is about 1 penny per point, that's about $20, right? So that essentially will allow you to get a gift card emailed directly to you, where you can then in turn shop at, I'm assuming, I've never actually had it, at least not many years, so I don't really remember, but to my understanding, I think you can only redeem those rewards at the exchange, which is very, I guess, narrow in the redemption avenues for this specific card. So that might be a deal breaker for a lot of people out there. However, you do get 2% back on every purchase, but something to take into consideration as well is that everything you buy from the exchange, as you can see here, is tax free. That is a big deal for a lot of people, including myself. Everything you buy from the exchange is basically tax-free. Not only that, but if you use your military star card, you also get free shipping on orders over $49. So those are two things that you need to take into consideration when applying for this card, because they are pretty big deals in my opinion. But that's not all this card has to offer. Of course, that's just this 2% cashback reward system, which is good at the fact that it's 2%, but when you factor in the free shipping and the no taxes, it actually ends up being significantly more than that, of course, especially with the bigger ticket items if you don't have to pay taxes on them, of course. And to further dive into these benefits, the military star card also allows a competitive low APR no matter what your credit score. So you are pretty much guaranteed, as long as you get approved to this card, you're going to be getting some great rates. I'm not going to get into the exact numbers and APRs of this card. I think it's like 12.49% or something like that. But you get fantastic APRs. But if you're doing the credit card thing responsibly, you shouldn't be carrying a balance, so that's really irrelevant in my personal opinion. But for those that do plan on carrying a balance, that very low APR is a very, very good thing in my opinion. On top of that, you also get no late fees, annual fees, or over limit fees, which is good again. And again, the last thing that you get in this specific section is that you get no back interest on 0% promotions. So when the most cards out there, when they say, oh yeah, buy now, pay later, or finance this for 0% for X amount of time, if you do not pay it off by the X amount of time, then at the very end of that, they accumulate all of the taxes up until that point. So you get a big lump sum of taxes just thrown onto your payment overall, and you're still going to be required to pay it, excuse me. For this card in particular, if you do exercise any of those payment plans and you don't pay it off in time, you don't get those taxes thrown onto it. And I think that's absolutely, or not taxes, I keep saying taxes, but those interest rates thrown onto it at the very end. You just basically continue to pay it off, but with a cumulative interest from that point on, which is absolutely fantastic, and it really is helpful in a lot of ways. Furthermore, this is one of the big reasons why I decided to get this card. This is a program that really, the profits really go back to serving the military communities themselves. This has, according to this, 408 million in benefit savings to people in the military, the direct people, of course. This also allows you to 1,000 interest-free dollars of military clothing plan. So this won't apply to me, of course. This is mainly for an active duty person who is actively trying to get some new uniforms and stuff like that, because after you get your initial supply issued to you, at that point forward, you are required to get them yourself. However, a lot of the times they do give you a military stipend. At least at the time when I was in, they'll give you a clothing stipend so that you can maintain your clothing. However, that's never enough to really actually maintain your uniforms, of course. But anything helps, and the fact that this is $1,000 of interest-free clothing plan is great in my opinion. And of course, in terms of the final section here, it's the discounts, of course. You get promotional 0% interest offers, which we've kind of covered here in a second ago. Great plans, and again, the fact that they don't just tack on all the interest at the very end if you don't pay it off in time is still fantastic in my opinion. You also get fixed monthly 36, 48, or 60 month pay your way, which is essentially, buy now, pay later type things, or an installment plan type things, which is helpful. But again, I don't really like those kinds of programs. I don't buy anything with my credit card unless I intend to pay it off at the pay off the statement balance at the due date, of course, which is what everyone should be doing. It is the responsible thing to do after all. Of course, now you have exclusive savings for just card holders. I'm new to this card again. I haven't had this card for like 14 years or so it's been a very long time since I've had this card. So I don't really know what the savings would, be at this point, but I'm pretty excited to get into this. So on top of that, free standard shipping on Shop My Exchange and Naval Exchange stores. We already covered that from their actual website. It says free shipping on $49 or more as long as you use your military star card, which is fantastic. A big one here, in my opinion, 5 cents off per gallon on fuel every single day. Now, this is kind of, there's kind of like a caveat to this. As you can see here, there is no MasterCard or anything on this card. This is a credit card. However, it's not a part of the, the actual known services out there like Visa, MasterCard, Amex, Discover, etc., right? So because of that, really the only places this is benefiting you is on military installations, which is where this card absolutely shines, in my opinion. So take that with a grain of salt. You do get additional savings for shopping at gas stations, if you will, or getting your gas from military installations themselves, because you get 5 cents off on all of that purchase, if you will. And last but not least, on this specific thing, you get 10% off exchange restaurants every single day. So on military installations, you do still have your fast food restaurants and stuff, like occasionally you'll have McDonald's or Burger King or Wendy's, I've seen before, etc., right? Pizza places. Those places in particular that are in the exchange will give you an additional 10% off, which is absolutely fantastic, and that alone is value enough for you to get this if you plan on going onto a military installation to eat. For whatever reason, you get 10% off just by being paying with this card, which is great. Again, I'm gonna keep emphasizing that because it's a great savings. 10% off is amazing. But there is one final thing. Apply today and you save 10% on all your first day purchases. So everything you buy will be 10% off. That is amazing. That is great. And I don't know, on top of that, you get your 2% cash back and everything. I don't know, this card has a lot of benefits. The only major downfall, in my personal opinion, is the fact that it isn't a part of any network out there. Like, again, I'll say it again, like Visa or MasterCard, for example. But I mean, if you're relatively close to a military installation, or if you are an active duty service member, or whatever the reason, you have access to a military installation and you could still buy from those specific, stores like AmeriFi, etc., then this card is actually a great one to have. That was a lot to take in, guys. There's a lot of things going for the military star card, of course. Great card to have, even though it does have some major downfalls, in my opinion. This is a no annual fee card, but other than that, there's really nothing to it. It's a pretty intense card for savings, but only on military installations. But the stuff that you can save on is pretty significant, in my opinion, because again, everything on base is tax-free, and this includes the AmeriFi's websites, which again, you can only purchase if you are directly affiliated to the military, which I am. Great card all the way around, even with his downfall. So I'll let that decision be up to you, whether or not you would want to consider this card or not. I know for me, it's a card that I want to use because it directly helps out my brothers and sisters in arms who are still currently serving in the military, and that is a great thing for me personally. On top of that, I get to use this card on some big ticket items. So for example, if I decide to buy a brand new TV that costs like $1,000, I'll get that $1,000 TV, for example, tax-free, free shipping, 2% cash back, of course. And if I get a TV here as my first purchase, I also get 10% off that purchase as well. So this card, again, has a lot of things going for it. But that's neither here nor there, guys. If you enjoyed this video, do me a huge favor, drop a like on this video. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, because it really does help this channel grow. So with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Deuces.